Sometimes we find the door handles sagging and it is not returning back to its original position, and this could be because the spring inside the handle could become loose or it could be broken. So all you have to do is replace those springs. If you have access to those springs, problem solved. You don't have to watch the video anymore. Skip and watch something useful. But if you don't find those springs, I'm going to show you how to make some of those springs all by yourself, and it is surprisingly simple. How to replace the springs first, and we can begin by unscrewing the door handle's top cover. Once the screws are removed, the handle comes loose. You can see a square shaft which extends on either side of the door, on which both the inside and the outside handle is connected. Once the handle is open, you will see three important components that work together to accomplish the spring action of the door handle. There is a spiral spring followed by a plate which has a notch to arrest the handle at a particular position when it returns, and a circlip that sits in the groove of the handle which inhibits the handle from coming loose. To remove the circlip, you will need an external circlip plier, cause this circlip here is an external one. This circlip is almost like an open washer, but it is made with spring material which exerts inwards pressure. To open it, you will need to exert outward pressure to pry it open, and that is something this external circuit plier does. If you don't have a circuit plier, use the divider from the geometry box. This method should get the job done for this particular repair. So I'm going to replace the springs and set everything up in the same order. First goes the spring, but I can see that one end of the spring is a little too pried to sit in the notch, and it will affect the shaft from entering inside. So we'll have to cut it a little bit shorter. I'm using a Dremel because any other cutter is not able to cut this hardened steel. So with that done, I set the spring in its place and follow it up with the plate. This plate is almost like a washer again, with a notch on top which stops the handle from spinning and winding all the way through. Next, all we have to do is set in the circlip, and it's a lot easier if you have a circuit plier. And just like that, we have changed the springs of the handle, and now we can fit the handle back on the door. I'm going to repeat the same very process for the other handle. Note that the orientation of the spring and the handle is in the opposite direction. So with both sides of the door handles completed, we can fit it back in its place. I'm inserting the shaft in its place. Then I align the shaft hole in the handle with the shaft, and everything can be screwed in place. And that's it, we are done. So we have successfully restored the spring action of the door handle. I tried repairing another door handle. The model was a little bit different, but most of the parts inside were very similar, and the process of repairing them is also very similar. I begin by removing the circlip, then followed by a plate that is actually a stopper plate, and then I can replace the broken springs, put everything back together, replace the circlip, and then we are ready to fit this handle back on the door. The main component required for this repair job is the spiral spring or the door handle spring, and sometimes it is very difficult to find one of these either online or even in the local market. So if you don't find this, and if you want to repair the door handles, let me show you how to make these springs all by yourself. We all know what springs are. These things tend to retain their shape when force is applied or the pressure is released from them. And what we need for this project is spiral springs like this. Now, springs are usually made with spring steel, piano wire, music wire. There are lots of names for them. And now, the problem for me right now is these things are sold in bulk and I don't need that much. So I started looking for places where I could find spring steel, and guess what? I found this, a laundry bag, a pop-up laundry bag. And now if you look at this, the edges here, the reeds have got spring steel, and when I pulled one of these things outside, I could see that the thickness is about 1 millimeter and the width is about 2 millimeter, or 1.5 rather. I didn't measure it properly, and I think we have a right candidate. This is what we need for this hack. These are inexpensive laundry bags and the stitches are not very strong. They can be removed with a simple tug, and we can remove the springs outside. Before you get to winding, there are a couple of things to note. The orientation of the notch and the hook is very important. A second important thing is the number of turns or windings. This spring is supposed to be 1.5 turns, but it seems like this one has got 1.75. Since the spring steel we are using is 1 mm in thickness, we can go for 2.5 turns or maybe even more. Let's make a few and find out. A normal wire would stay in shape when wound, but spring steel deforms once you remove it from the shaft. There is a lot of calculations on how this works. I do not know all that. I am going with my method of trying things out and learn from my failures if need be. I've picked up this bolt, which is slightly smaller than the shaft diameter. I've clamped this bolt onto the vise, and I've also added another nut so that the vise bites it evenly. Now I'm going to make a small hole here, but before doing that I'm going to take a file and flatten out some of the threads so that the drill bit can have a better bite. The drill bit I'm using is almost 2 mm and it matches the size of the spring that we are going to use, and at the same time I'm going to measure the depth on which I have to make this hole. With this hole made, we have the jig ready for winding the spring. We can insert one end of the spring wire into the hole and start winding. Note that I am making 3 or 4 turns because, like I told you, the spring wire tends to bounce back and does not stay in the shape that we wind it in. So it's going to expand, and the circles or the rings are concentric and they are ascending in size. And therefore I am winding 3 or 4 turns, and then I will probably cut it to the desired number of windings. So we have the spring ready. Now all we have to do is put a hook on the other end, and we can use a plier and simply make that hook. And that hook is not going to be very accurate or small like you see in the factory made ones, because if you try and press it too hard, the hooks might break. The goal here is to make a hook that doesn't let the spring slip out, and I think we can do that. I tried making a few springs here, and I could say that the one that had 3.5 turns works the best, and I think I'll be using this to replace the springs in the old handle. Here you can see that I've replaced the old spring with the new one that I had made, and it works perfect. I bet this is the cheapest method by which you can fix a door handle. The spiral spring that I made for the door handle is not looking great, but it is getting the job done. And now you know that you can simply change the spring and don't have to replace the complete door handle. And another thing is when pop-up bags like this, pop-up laundry bags like this, when they go old, we tend to throw them off. But I would say let's preserve these reeds which are made of spring steel, because these things have a lot of different purposes and uses. For example, you can clear the blockage in the kitchen sink by using this and poking it poking the brain with this kind of things and get your job done. So I hope you like this video, and if you do, please do share this video with your friends and try and help someone. And please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Video Eppo. I will see you soon in another interesting video. Until then, bye bye.